another video. Today's video is the BMW R100, which you haven't seen on your screens for a while. I'd say the last time I was on was a few months ago, where I was putting a spotlight on the crash bars. Today's video is going to be choosing the colour and painting it, along with a few other bits like a front fairing. This bike does need a front fairing, so I need to fit that first of all. It is off a GS, and so yeah, it's still keeping that BMW theme. Whether it'll fit straight on, who knows, but we're going to try it anyway. I think it will look mean. And secondly, this bike's been sat here for a while now. It is Luca's bike, and Luca did choose a colour a long time ago, but he's been unsure about it, which is why we haven't really done anything to it majorly over the time. Is that we went for an original BMW colour, Luca then sat on it, thought, oh, I'm not sure, but today's the day where we're like, well, let's just try it, slap it on. If you don't like it, we can always spray it again, but seeing as we've paid the money for that, and cellulose paints aren't the cheapest, let's do it. Now, one thing I do need to do is mix a secondary colour to go with it. You know me, my bikes, I don't like to do one colour. It has to be a combination of colours. So let's see what colour will go with it. Something elegant, but at the same time, something that I've got here basically. So I'm going to try and do it on the cheap. Like I say, cellulose paints aren't the cheapest. Minimum quantity is 250ml, and if I want an accent colour, you know, all that. So let's do it. See what the colour's going to be. Not sure how much of it you can see here, but that's all done with the white primer now. Lighting's not that great for a camera in here anyway. I've got the light coming through, but this is the tank. That is the front kind of fairing. And we've got the mudguard down at the bottom there. So now it's time to do the colour. And the colour is here. I take it over here, take it up, and that is it there. That gorgeous blue. I do need to mix it a little bit. I know I should be using proper mixing sticks, but I don't know where I've put them right now. Get it in the light. Stunning. So that is what that is going to be. On the R100 tank, I have sanded it all, primed it, and that's where I'm up to now. I have gone over it with, gosh, the sun's coming in right now. I have sanded it down, wet sanded over 600 grit after priming it, just to get that smooth coating on it, because otherwise I'm going to get a bit of orange feel. But that's done, so now is the time to mix the colours. Okay, so the tank is done, as you can see here. Right, I say done, the base colour is on. Same with the front fairing there. Now, the idea is, similar with all my other tanks and things like that, is to get a pattern going around and then a slice going down. Might go quite close to that actually. Possibly take it with this knee dent here. I'm not sure actually, should I? No, do you know what, I'm going to start before then. Accentuate the knee dent. But what I do need as a secondary colour is a colour that complements it. Now I've been playing around with this here, so this is my little pot of colour mixing. I've essentially got a black and I've got the blue for the bike. And what I am thinking is that there, that colour, obviously a bit of reflection going on, but I think that colour is nice enough to be an accent without being too dark. Now I didn't think of completely black and blue, but I thought no, that's going to be too much, that's going to be too in your face, too much of a contrast. As you can see down there with that little spill, it's just not nice. I think this will be lovely. So I am mixing on the fly. Chance of me getting that colour again is probably very slim, but I can mix it fairly close. There's no formula to it whatsoever. It's not like I've measured 70ml of one and 30ml of another. It's literally mixing it as I see. But that'll do. So this bike's had 2 coats. I wasn't happy with the first coat. I basically put too much thinner in and it started orange peeling to heck. But now it's a lot better. What I do need to do now, I'm just testing on here, is because I quite like the way it looks. What I do need to do is start masking this off. So I'm going to do that top front of darker blue as I mentioned, mask it off, see where it sits, and then maybe just a few stripes going down. Right now, what I've got is this all masked up. Obviously, I need to go over that bit, to be honest, just to be safe. So as you know, whatever parts are masked up are going to remain the blue underneath. So that's it. You can see how much of it is actually going to be the dark blue. That's going to look really nice. And there we have it, the BMW, the new colour of it. So yeah, a bit of an unexpected. In my mind, I remember the original drawings that I did a long time ago had a bit of green and bronze and all sorts going through it, but we've actually ended up with a blue. Quite nice actually, because when I was stripping down the tank, I actually found out that the original colour of this bike was blue. And so it is quite nice bringing it back to life to this. And obviously, as you can see, used a bit of that black just to mix it with the blue and make a little bit of a darker one. Now I really do like it, I genuinely do like it. I like the finish of it. It's had a gloss coat. One thing I do need to do is properly sand it down with 1500 grit and probably polish it up as well. But that's like the final stage. It'll get rid of all these tiny little, I mean, it's minimal, but I can see it and it will bother me. Just tiny little orange peel in it, a tiny bit. The gloss coat has obviously covered a lot of that. So next step on this bike is to wire it all up. I've got these little gauges left, that's a clock. Also got a battery meter which is up there. Just these can go on the side, and then I can properly start thinking about all the other bits that I'm going to be doing to it, such as brake hoses, throttle cable, fuel pipes, and the wiring. I am using the original wiring harness. I know the original idea was to actually use an M unit on it with costs, keeping costs low now for Luca. We're just going to use the old wiring harness, plug it back in, so it should be a plug and play system, put a battery in, and there we go. Oh, and the seat. Yes, the seat needs your upholstering. In fact, it needs to be made a little bit thicker. Luca and his old man back needs one more cover on that, which we can do. That's easy enough. So, if you like what you see, want to stay up to date with this, then follow, subscribe, and we'll have the mongrel back on your screens, as well as finishing off the little herald for Joe. So, I'll see you next week.